You see the new desktop? I've been fixing my desktop. That's why I've been off so long. I am using Arch Linux on my streaming computer, and I'm using Nambara Linux uh on my well, gaming computer, Arch Linux. Streaming computer, Nambara. So this is why I've been off for so long, because I was trying to get everything looking good, looking real good. It right now, bruh, it's looking sweet as shit. But yeah, I'm loving the new setup. I am loving it. Uh, but yeah, we are gonna do a one video about reacting to No Longer Human underscore 77. Uh, since I've been in the foster home, the foster care facilities and whatever it's called. Uh, I've been through a lot, basically. Prison, psych ward. Well, not the psych ward, but it's kind of like the psych ward, the criminal. So criminal. After prison, I went to the criminal. What is it? Criminal psychiatric ward. Yeah, the criminal psychiatric ward. Uh, independent living. Uh, foster home. Mental health hospitals. Adoption centers, which is St. Vincent's and uh, Ammonia in Baltimore. So yeah, I've been through a good amount of shit, for real. Uh, so I understand how this YouTuber is how she feels after being in a psych ward. Uh, so this is why we are talking about it, because for real, it you could just say one thing back when I was younger. You could say one thing about somebody and that will put you into the psych ward. I don't get why, but that's just how it was. And I didn't like that because I was just going through a lot. I was going through a lot. Trauma, uh, not being with my mom, not being with my family, not being with my sister, uh, just having problems left or right because of the situation I've been having back in those days. But yeah, let's get to this.
Um, this is a different type of video, isn't it? I am currently sitting on my floor. I know my hair is crazy. I look crazy. There's no usual bangs, no usual makeup today. I just want to sit here and chat. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Um, I've been gone for a really long time. Partially that is due to my deteriorating mental health. Another big chunk of it would be my fear of putting myself out there and being vulnerable on the internet. But mostly it all has to do with my mental health. So I made an announcement in late September saying that I've
When it comes to these younger people, after COVID, they've been through some crazy shit. Mostly because they don't have a good amount of people to talk to, uh, not going to school, not learning stuff and whatnot, and that can really hit a person to the point that they don't know how to function in society. You could tell by how my my camera's in the way, but she been doing some damage to her door. And that's signs of mental deterioration too. Uh uh seems like go she's trying to get a hold of her mental deterioration. And I am happy for her that she's not trying to kill herself and whatnot. So, and she do look kind of good. Uh, she probably young as shit, so I shouldn't say that. But she they're dealing with mental trauma is very it's very hard to deal with. Harder than physical trauma because that yeah, physical trauma you will have a scar and whatnot. But it's on your skin. It's skin deep, bruh. But when it comes to mental trauma, depending on the trauma, it can stay with you for a lifetime, bro. Good thing I didn't let my mental trauma get a hold of me, take control of me once I gotten older. When she gets older, she will learn how to control it, just like with me, just like with certain other people. If she becomes stronger, she will become able to, well, mentally stronger. She'll be able to handle it. She will be able to uh do certain things to shake that off her mind. For how I dealt with my mental trauma is drawing, video editing, gaming, just talking to people. I don't I rarely talk to people, but I sometimes do talk to people. Yeah, I am an introvert, but sometimes introverts have to talk to people. But having pets, although I'm not really a pet guy, but from dealing with pet people, that can actually help with dealing with trauma too. That's why they have dogs that are in that area of that scope where you have a mental person who is dealing with a mental defect, and they have a one of them safety pets to help them deal with shit. Um, maybe she have to find a hobby that will get her to get her uh to get her to handle what she's doing right now. Uh, it's gonna. I can say one thing: dealing with mental trauma can. You're gonna have to deal with it every day. Sometimes it's not there. Sometimes it's there. Sometimes it's just a subtle bit, but you gonna have to deal with it. And as humans, we find ways to deal with stuff like that. But yeah.
Been feeling really down and kind of like unstable. People on my Twitter have seen my numerous mental breakdowns to a certain extent, like a little, just a little peep into like my brain, I guess, and my thoughts. Anyways, I overshare a little bit too much there. I need to tone it down for sure. Basically, the situation is in October, no, late September, I was sent to the ER, and then I stayed there for a day, like a whole 24 hours, locked in a little box type of room with a TV and just a mattress and
You, just you, building your app on Base 44.
literally nothing else. Just a cold room. It felt like a cell. I was like, what the fuck? I had no social interaction except like the nurses and shit. When the psychiatrist came in, I was like, where the fuck am I? Because like I was trying to nap it all off. Like I just forced myself to sleep through the 24 hours because I'm like, I'm miserable and it's cold in here and my mental is just already deteriorating. Them putting me in like a room confined by myself does not help my mental at all because I was already going insane prior to getting to the ER due to me getting cheated on for like the 15th time. Yeah, basically, I was in.
I mean, getting cheated hard, getting cheated on can be rough. Maybe she is very uh mentally fragile or uh well, fragile mentally. Uh yeah, a lot of people get cheated on. Uh I've been cheated on. I've been cheated on what 4 to 5 times. Yeah, 4 to 5 times. Uh Maybe because of what I dealt with, I didn't really have to I didn't really I didn't really let it get to me like how she did. Uh when it comes to women, they deal with their their traumas differently. So she could be one of them women that let everything get to her. Uh you just have to work on yourself basically. Stop trying to be in a relationship. Just focus on yourself. That's how you become stronger mentally. Even though yeah, you're gonna still get cheated on and whatnot, probably because you are with the wrong person. Maybe it's her, maybe it's her environment, but you gotta learn how to first become stronger mentally. Once you become stronger mentally, you you won't you won't deal with you won't be around people who are like that around you. You will learn this person's not good for me. This person is good for me. You learn to separate each person you're around. Uh, well, divide the people that are good for you and divide the people that are bad for you. Throw the bad people in the trash and only deal with the good people. If someone you feel as though have have gone bad, then you learn how to throw them out too and just find another person to replace them. Although they say it's not good to replace people, some instances you have to because they're just not good for you basically. But yeah.
Like a on and off relationship with my ex partner for a really long time, and for like a year and a half. And it's just a very bad cycle because they lie. They lie so much and they keep betraying me and they keep doing the things that I told them this is my definition of cheating, and if you cross that boundary, like no. But like because of me and my mental illness, it keeps going swinging back and forth. I try to like forgive them, but then realizing that they're not gonna change, and then me not knowing how to deal with it all because I have no sense of self. I isolated myself from everyone that I knew. So then at that point in my life, it got so hard because when you have no friends, no support system, and the only person that you can go to is your very cold tiger Asian mom. Like, it's not a good combination. So then they were like the only thing that I knew and was supposedly my safe space. Okay, I don't want to be dramatic and be like that crying shit here, but, um, yeah. If someone's supposed to be your safe space and someone that you actually trusted for, like, if you saw one person as someone that you truly trusted and you truly felt safe with, and that person keeps betraying you and stabbing you in the back, fuck, that shit hurts. And then it's always a constant cycle of you trying to forgive them, but you can't come to the terms or can't seriously accept.
When dealing with people, you gotta learn how to have a three strike plan, basically. Three strikes you're out, basically. When it comes to people like that who thinks they can take advantage of you gotta learn how to not forgive them. Yeah, uh, let them. Well, what I do is if I find someone who is betraying me, depending on what it is, I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you, depending on the situation, it will be one strike or that. I will automatically go to that third strike. If they do it again, second strike. If they do it again, I ain't talking to you, bruh. I might say hi and bye, but you gonna learn that I ain't dealing with your bullshit, bruh. Oh, with how she is, it seems like with her, she wants to be in a relationship so bad. She's kind of desperate that she will be with any, well, not almost anybody, but she would be with a person that takes advantage of her. When it comes to those type of people, well, when it comes to her, what she really needs to do is to be comfortable living alone for several years. Yeah, what be comfortable living alone, basically. Know how you ha- n- get to know yourself. Get to know what your likes and dislikes about yourself. Uh, be on a don't let don't X yourself out from everybody. that's just gonna make it worse. Yeah, you can still talk to people, but what it is, you are trying to this mentor journey you're supposed to do go through is gonna help you learn about yourself, what your likes, what your dislikes, uh, who you can be friends with, who you can't be friends with, who can talk to you, who you can't talk to. Uh, you learn how to be open minded. Uh, get all the people out that you feel as though you don't need or feel as though they're gonna take advantage of you. Read books. That's the best thing to do is read books. Read. I've been listening to Yon Dong with the Axe and how fiction books help you learn how to function in society. Although I feel as though fictional books are just good for your artist side, just to um, good for imagination and good for people of the arts, uh, just to become creative. Maybe I'm gonna have to read some fiction. I like Stephen King. I like I do like what is his name? The one book something Brown, I think. Uh he made the Demons and Angels the Demon and Angel book. Uh he had gotten a movie out. Uh I do like some I do a I do like I used to have the Twilight series books when I was 16. I might have to go back to them. I'ma get the Wukong series, Journey to the East or Journey to the West. It was, but that whole series is expensive. So I'm really into reading. It just depends on what type of book I'm reading, what type of fiction book I'm reading. But for her, she gotta learn how to. The best thing to do is be by yourself for some odd years and read. Learn to be comfortable by yourself. You can still talk to your friends. Uh, she probably won't ever get this. I, I'm very small. On my gaming, on my gaming channel, I'm at 78. Right here, I'm at 18, so I'm very small. A very small channel. She won't pop. If she gets this, uh, yeah. But if you do get this, just learn how to be by yourself. Learn, get some books, read, learn about yourself, and talk to your friends and whatnot. Talk to your family members, even though you said you have a tiger mom. Get some hobbies, basically. Stop being on the internet. Uh, just still, just learn how to deal with yourself, basically. But yeah,
The fact that they can never change, and you can't make people change. And that's why I got sent to the psych ward. When I was in the ER, I told them like what led up to me, trying to. They were like, "Yeah, you're not going home tonight. You're not going home. You have to be sent to the ward. You have to be admitted to a psychiatric hospital, is what the doctor said. And then I start pleading with the nurses. I'm like, please let me go home. I don't want to do this. But like at that point, I was like, fuck, dude, this is. I accepted my fate.
Yeah, the few times I've been to, uh, we didn't call it the mental ward. We called it the mental hospital, basically. But yeah, you are you have to do groups and whatnot. Uh, you are living the where you sleep at is basically you have, depending on the place, you have 4 people, 2 people, or your own bedroom, right? You get these wooden beds, if I can remember straight. Yeah, wooden beds. You get a little desk. Uh, you gotta go, like I said, you gotta go to groups. Uh, uh, you get like a outside playing area. Uh, depending on if you are a kid or adult, you still have to go to school. When I was at Potomac Ridge, they had a school inside of their hospital. So we still went to school basically. Um, what else? You get like a little, depending on the hospital, you get like a cafeteria you go to, or you just eat in the place that you're living at, because there are, what it is, you got different different in the hospital, you got different rooms. One's will be children, one for adults, one for women, one for boys, one for just general population. So it's like a co-ed basically. Depending on the hospital. It's not all hospitals are like that, but some hospitals are like that. Uh you get to go like on little trips. Uh we've been to the Raven Stadium. We went to the Ray Lewis restaurant whenever it was open in Baltimore. Uh but yeah, it it can be diff like I said before, depending on what hospital, you might like it or you will hate it. You might like it or you will like it or hate it. There's no midpoint. You will love it or you will hate it. Depending on who you are, you will love it or you will hate it. But yeah.
And then they transported me from one hospital to the other. And then when I arrived at the psychiatric ward, it was already like 12 a.m. and it was really late. And there were
Mhm.
like 2 patients that were.
Most of the time, when you're going to a mental hospital, you are going in there at nighttime because that's when everybody is asleep. Um, why they want everybody to sleep when you're there, when you're going in, because you might get patients that are crazy, crazy. And if they see that you are just coming in, bruh. they will you they will they will put you as a target basically to fuck with. So the best thing to do is when you go into, like I said before, they always that's the best thing to do is get you in there at nighttime. They always get you in there at nighttime, and that's the best thing to do. When I was in the mental hospital, bruh, I was in a co-ed hospital at the time. Uh, at 15, we I was having sex, bruh. I was understand. I was getting to understand the female body so fucking much. I was supposed to be. I wasn't supposed to be doing that, but in my time, I I was a sexual animal, bruh. I was a sexual animal. I was high on horniness, and I had to get it out, basically, and that was the best time to get it out, bruh. But yeah.
in the common area. And then I just came in, I was so scared. I was like, oh my god, what the hell is happening? But since like no one was out and walking about, I was like, okay, there's not that many people here. But the nurse that like admitted me like was pretty nice. Like I love her, that nurse. Anyways, I got put into this room with this girl, and she was already sleeping. So then when I got there, it was just like time to sleep. But in the ward, you cannot sleep at all. And then first thing in the morning, 7 a.m., they wake you up. They would be like vitals time, and they literally have like
Yeah.
a lock around your wrist. It's like a bracelet that they have to scan, and they have to walk around to monitor like, oh, if you're still here or not, or if you escape.
That has to be new things because yeah, we had the it was like plastic bracelet basically. Uh to know so the nurses would know who you are basically. They never scanned them though. So that has to be a new thing. She might be in Cali or something where everything or New York where everything is updated, but that has to be a new thing.
The hospital, like that's what they have to do. So they have to check on you every 5 minutes. So when you
Mhm.
sleep, like the mental health worker, they would like walk in with an iPad, and then they have to like be like this. Sometimes they
Yeah,
have to
that's
hover
a
over
new
you because it
thing.
wouldn't scan, and that shit is scary because you're like half like asleep and half like lucid. You're like, what the fuck is happening? And like there's a scary figure hovering over me. Like what the hell? Yeah. So sleep there was absolutely terrible, and not to mention the fact that you obviously cannot have your phone, you cannot have a lot of things that might potentially
Mhm.
harm you. So um yeah, and I had a crippling like scrolling addiction on my phone, so then like I could.
Well, for real, a lot of the places I've been to, you aren't supposed to have a phone because you're supposed to be working on your mental health. So they're going to take your phone away, but you will get it anyway. You're going to get it back out. I mean, once you get out. Uh they put it in an area where and put your name on it depending on the place or they would just throw it out. Some things I never got, so I had to get it back. But yeah.
Couldn't scroll on TikTok or Insta Reels or anything. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go insane from boredom. And then next thing in the morning, wake up vitals and then breakfast. Like me going to breakfast, I was like, shit, I don't know anyone here, and they've already kind of been acquainted with each other. And I tried my hardest to talk to people, but it was like I couldn't. My anxiety was going through the fucking roof at the ward because I was like, I feel like I'm in kindergarten again. And like I need to find my way to like who should I sit with at the lunch table? It's kind of like that. Choose the wrong people, you're stuck with them. Or like, oh, you'll just be a loner eating by yourself. And that's like my worst fear, because that was like what happened to me in school. Like that social rejection type of feel. Like I can't stand that. So I do anything to try to fit in. So then I always carried like a little, they have
That's not good. It's always to be. It's always to feel It's always better to feel comfortable being by yourself than being able forcing yourself to fit in, basically. Because you gotta be a yeah, you will be good at being a chameleon. I'm good at being a chameleon, but you will every time you put yourself into a spot where you force yourself to to be like everybody else, you forget about who you are. You forget about your identity, basically. Uh, that's why it's always good to feel comfortable being by yourself than to be like everybody else.
like a little station where you could like have tea and like hot water and stuff. So I always carried around hot tea with me. So then like my hand would
That's the best part about having to be in a mental institution. That's what we used to call it, a mental institution. They they had a little spot where you would have coffee, a coffee stand, a tea, some a little box that had tea and some hot water, uh, some little coffee straws, some sugars in the cabinet. I used to love that fucking spot, bruh. And it would be always where the salad bar is at. So after you get your plate of food, they have little plates like in back in the old school McDonald's. You get these little trays, right? That you put your food on top of, and you will eat off those trays. Just, just the same thing. Them trays, uh, you will get that tray, you will get your utensils, you go through the line, get your food, get like a little snack, which is like a honey bun or something. Get your drinks and go to your spot. On after you get to the after you finish the getting your food, there will be a little area where you get your coffee or your tea or your drinks. That is my spot right there. I used to go at the fucking tea, bruh. I love me some fucking tea, bruh. Used to go at the motherfucking tea, bruh. And you have these levels, basically. That's one thing. Depending on the hospital, you get these levels. These levels, if you do good, right, you get like certain benefits, like going into the game room. you have like a little game room that they will have. And that used to be my spot too. You have a computer, you have a uh some game some video games, you got like little little board games, a table that you can set your board game that you want to play with friends. And sometimes that game room was the place that you will have groups at. Um, Depending on the hospital. I've been to Potomac Ridge, I've been to uh, Ellicott, whatever it's called, uh, a mental institution. I've been to Shepherd Pratt. I've been to, yeah, I think that was called Shepherd Pratt in Ellicott. Uh, I've been to Brooklyn Hospital, which is in close to Frostburg, basically. Uh, Frostburg, Maryland. Uh, I've been to this hospital in Frostburg. Uh, and this place was a something evangelist. So Seventh Day Seventh Day Evangelist or whatever it's called, Adventist, Seventh Day Adventist Hospital. And you can't have any technology. Uh, you can't eat any meats. You will go to church at Saturday. That is a very strict uh Christian religion, bruh. Very strict. You can't have certain things. You're basically living very you're kind of living like a Mormon, basically. No, not a Mormon, but I forgot what it's called. You're kind of living like them people don't uh that don't use electricity, and I forgot what they're called, bro. Uh, they live off they live off the the ground basically or whatever it is. They build their own houses and whatnot. You're living like them, kind of like them, kind of like them. You're very close to living like them, basically.
Always be shaking, but like I had something warm to compress, like to have help that feeling of anxiety. So then I just always held something, and then yeah, I tried to talk to some people, some girls, some dudes. It was like a co-ed psych ward for that floor.
Hmm.
It was like a college dorm thing. We were unit south, so that means there's like an east, north.
Yeah, and for her to be out so early, she had to been in the outpatient. So mostly outpatients are co-ed. So I was in the outpatient facility. Dude, I was just learning about the female body, bro. I was a horny fucking mess back then.
North and a west ward. The other ones are like adult ones, and then women's section, and then men's only
Hmm.
wards. So
Just like I
basically, it's like
said.
that. I have to say, like some of the dudes. Okay, I think only like some dudes felt weird. There's like this one person that felt like a Asian fetishizer, specifically Korean fetishizer. But not to get into that too much. You know, I was just like, okay, it is what it is. Why does this guy keep talking to me about his Korean girlfriends and trying to talk to me in Korean when I'm not Korean? Anyways, hope he's doing well. There were some girls there that I eventually got the courage to talk to because I was really scared. And they were really nice. They were really sweet, and I was sad that like I only like really talked to like my roomie, like the my roommate, like 2 days before she was about to be discharged. But just hearing
Mhm.
everyone's stories about why they ended up there and like things that they struggled with did broaden my perspective on a lot of things because I felt like I felt so alone and like what I was going through, and I also felt so dumb. Like I was like, why the hell did I try to for a dude for a freaking dude that is unfaithful and just a liar?
Yeah.
Why did I do that? And I just felt dumb that that was my reason for being there. But it turns out like a lot of other people, a lot of other girls also had similar reasons. And
Mhm.
I wasn't able to talk to the dudes about why they ended up there that much because I'm not really comfortable talking to men because of trauma in the past. Let's just say that simply. Um, I know everyone had like their shit going on, and I think knowing everyone's stories and how different everyone is and different in stages of life and career and just everything basically just made me realize that we're all more similar than I'd initially thought when I first came to the ward.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think a big part of me struggling in the ward was feeling really alone and not feeling like I fit in with the people in the ward and just like in general because like I knew outside the ward I didn't have anyone else. There was like a
Mhm.
telephone landline thing and the only person that I could call was my mom and the cheating ex-partner. And you know, I called the cheating ex-partner for comfort. Fucking stupid of me.
Obviously.
And it's still an ongoing like cycle to be very transparent with you guys.
Yeah, she gotta learn how to not depend on her on she gotta learn how to not depend on the wrong people, basically. Uh and yeah, she's young. She's very young, it seems like. She mentally she's probably like 18 18 or 19. Mentally she's like 18 or 19. She's probably like what? I don't want to say in her 20s because she might be around like the way she looks right now, she looks like 15 or 16. But I don't think she's 15 or 16. I don't think she is probably around her early 20s. Uh, but yeah, she needs to stop depending on the wrong people. She needs to stop being with the wrong. It seems like you got just like I keep on. That's what I keep saying. You gotta learn how to be comfortable living, being by herself, being by herself. She gotta be comfortable with being her own friend. Yeah, it's good to have friends too. But what she's dealing with, she gotta learn to be her own friend and depend on herself because she's gonna be like this until she dies. And if she doesn't learn how to be her own friend, she's not gonna learn how to love herself.
I feel like maybe eventually I'd realize things, but for me, I don't learn things unless I learn it the hard way. And by the hard way, like, sometimes it's like the hardest way possible. Um, and my mom, I kept calling her. I'm like, hey, can you please come see me? I'm really lonely and I feel like I'm going crazy here. The first 3 days, I was like panicking, like having a panic attack every single day. And I'm like crying, sobbing on the phone and trying to hide my face so that other people don't see me. Yeah, I was like, Mom, please come see me because there's visiting hours every day. And
Mhm.
some people, they have like their families come very often, like very frequently. And then I just felt like because my mom couldn't come see me because she's busy, or like
Mhm.
that she didn't care. It felt like she didn't care. But I know it's just because she's busy. But just having to like deal with that my whole life, like, oh, the fact that she couldn't be there to pick me up from school or whatever, and I always be the last kid that was like picked up, and I just either get picked up by like a friend's parent or something. It's always like that. So that's kind of how I felt there. After I begged her to come see me, she like squeezed room to come see me during the visiting hours. When I had to talk with my mom during that time, she was just like, "How has it come to this? Like, you were so smart, you were so bright and gifted as a kid. What did I do wrong to raise you that you turned out this way?" And I'm like, "It's not your fault."
The worst thing to say to somebody who's dealing with this type of drama. This is the wrong thing to say, bruh. She's gonna feel like, damn, her mom, bruh. She gotta learn some sympathy, bruh. She gotta learn some empathy. That is the wrong thing to say to someone like that. Now she's gonna be like, am I not supposed to be in this world? Should I kill myself because of what uh, because my mom thinks that way about me? Oh, it's crazy how you just say that. I don't know if she actually say that because I wasn't with her at the time that she said that. But if she did say that, there is no right way to say that, bruh. You gonna say that to your fucking daughter, bruh? That's crazy. That's real crazy, bruh. And she got, this is why I say you gotta be your own best friend.
It's no one's fault. It's just we did the best that we could, you know, growing up and stuff. We did the best that we can. You did the best that you can. And I tried my best to understand you. But there's just accumulation of things that we can't control anymore, at least, because it already happened. That led to my mental kind of turning out like this.
Mhm.
And me not knowing how to cope with it and not knowing how to deal with these things is a big part of why things got to the point that it got, aka trying to end, you know, my. Yeah, I don't want this to be like demonetized or anything. It might, but you know, it's a very sensitive topic. I'm like trying to make it more lighthearted to you guys, but I think it's just me coping because when sometimes I talk about these things, I'm like really, really like down and like have a monotone ass voice, but I'm just like trying to. I don't really know. I don't know if this is my authentic self. I have a big imposter syndrome as well, so I don't. This is just me trying to convey my thoughts, and I hope it.
And that is due. This is why I say it's not due to suit everybody's needs socially because of that right there, imposter syndrome. She doesn't know herself. She authentically doesn't know herself. This is why this is the best time right now to for her to learn how to be her own best friend so she can get to know herself.
Can reach people and make other people realize that they're not alone as well, you know. And I after I got out of the ward, I was still struggling a lot, and with BPD and I also have a incoming ADHD diagnosis. Basically, I'm on a wait list for ADHD. My doctor put me on it, and I need to wait a couple months for me to get evaluated. But all the doctors I've seen said that I most likely have it. But in order for me to get a proper diagnosis, I need to go through that process. But they put me like on some ADHD med, like off-label type of medication. Yeah, I'm medicated now, so get medicated, guys, if you want to, if you're open to. It works very different on.
With me, medication didn't help for me. I had to learn how to live with with what I dealt with by myself. I don't know why. uh, My from birth, I was always stubborn. I wouldn't even get out of my mom's. Yeah, when I was that stubborn. She said it took two people to get me out. I was always stubborn, so that might be the, the reason why I why medication don't work for me because biologically I am just stubborn. So it's good if you are able to take it, take medication, and if you need medication, then yeah, you should take it. If you feel as though medication doesn't work for you, uh, depending on the medication, when it comes to mental stuff like mental health, no, nothing. If you have if you have a very if you're very psychotic, then yes, keep on your meds, bro. I'm just saying for the people who are not as psychotic. And I don't mean psychotic as a bad thing. Like borderline borderline personality disorder. She that's probably what she got. BPD, borderline personality disorder. So with those type of mental defects, stay on the meds. They will really help you. If you have something like bipolar or something very mild bipolar, very mild high ADHD or something. You don't really need the meds, depending on how you are. If you're medic medical, if you're a dependent off of medicine, then you might as well just stay on. For me, I'm not dependent on medication because I I'm a very mentally strong person. I don't give. I'm very mentally stubborn. I'm mentally strong. So I will learn how to do shit myself in the right way. uh, I don't get why. But yeah, probably because all the shit that I had to deal with. That's probably why. But uh I just didn't need meds. I just had to learn how to be my own friend, like I said.
Different people, obviously. For me, it's good because I have BPD and I'm taking Lexapro right now. My doctor didn't
Mm-hmm.
say mood stabilizer.
Yep. Lexapro, Paxil, Zyprexa, uh, Depakote, uh, bruh. I've been on a good amount of those type of medicine. Zyprexa, I hated Zyprexa. Zyprexa almost gave me um what is it called? Uh almost Zyprexa uh almost lost my what is that organ called? The the organ that absorbs all the sugars and whatnot. Almost lost that organ. It start with a P, I think. I'm gonna look it up.
Hi, welcome to the Echelon AUR. Today we're going over something kind of simple, kind of not, I guess. It's really just for OBS. So there's a few plugins.
Oh, pancreas. I almost lost my pancreas. That's what it is. Yep. Almost lost my pancreas for being on Zyprexa. Uh, yeah, I almost got pancreatitis. That's what. Yep. To regulate blood sugar. That's what it. But yeah.
Tranquilizers was the best choice for me, because it's more for bipolar mixed in with borderline. But for me right now, Lexapro has been going pretty well. I feel really fucking numb, which is good because I have very intense emotions and I become crazy irrational and impulsive.
This is why I hated medication. When I was on medication, it made me feel numb to the point of being a zombie. And with me, my body hates when my body becomes zombified. Basically. So, with my body, it will always try to get out of that zombie state. It will put shit in my, it will put a lot, it will force my brain to work. Even though I am in a zombie state, it will force, my body will force my brain to function. So it won't work. That's probably why I had a, why if they would shoot me up with, what is it called? Uh, it would help you calm down if you get restrained. That would never work unless they shoot me up with 6 of those shits. Bruh. Uh, it's because my body just don't like to be controlled by medicine. A paradoxical effect. That's what it's called. My that medication, my body will put itself into a paradoxical effect when it comes to uh that medicine, basically. That will try when they restrain me and pull my pants down, put that needle in me, bruh. I would just become madder. That's one of the reasons why I my nickname was the Hulk, because anytime they will shoot me up with that shit, I just become madder. You ain't gonna control me.
And all that crazy jazz that you see on the internet, it's like all of that entailed into a whirlwind of like me. So being on medication helped, and after I got out, I'm still in contact with, said ex-partner, and things, like a cycle, things don't change, things don't fucking change. So I try to like do that shit again. The reason why I went to the ward in the first place, I did all that shit again, trying to, myself again and again, like, and again. It was like multiple times in October. So that's why October was really, really, really rough for me. But starting November, it started to die down a tad bit. And then last week, I reached out to a old high school friend and I hung out with them. And for the first time, I felt like I had someone outside that toxic partner, that dynamic of feeling so overly reliant on that person because I have no one else. but reaching out to someone else that I truly felt comfortable with in the past and I still feel comfortable with now, my old friend, it really helped me a little bit. Just even the slightest bit helps, you know? I just I'm really grateful for them, you know? And obviously this journey of trying to get better, this self-help shit is like a large part like a mindset thing because I had people tell me like the harsh truth and like obviously I know this. I know what I need to do and I know how to solve my problem. Not exactly how, but like the logical solutions to all the things that I'm feeling and dealing with. I know the logic of it all because I'm a chronic overthinker, but to a point that I over intellectualize everything that I think and ruminate in other things that it's really hard for me to get out of that space in my head, even though I feel like, oh, this is what I need to do. Or, yes, I know that this person's bad for me, but why can't I just leave? Why? Obviously the most logical choice is just to leave and start anew, but it's really, 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 really fucking hard. Obviously, I need to do shit in my life to get better. Obviously, I need to get a job. I need to do normal people shit, go out of the house, take a walk, go to the fucking park, get off the fucking phone to feel better. These are very obvious things that people kind of stuff down my throat, and also my own brain stuffs down my throat. But it's harder when people are coming at you with that critical, judgmental type of feel rather than an empathy perspective, I'd say. Because I had a friend of mine that was giving me really harsh advice, I'd say, telling me that if you want to change, you have to do the work to change. You sitting here wanting change but not doing things to make it happen is just like it's pointless. And I kind of knew that, but I think I'm just in this type of freeze state. Like I feel paralyzed. I feel like whatever I do, I can't make a change. Everything I do is pointless. Nothing is worth it. I don't have passion for anything anymore. I don't have love for anything, really. I don't have things that I want. I just feel like I don't know what I'm living for. Quite frankly, to put it like that. I don't know.
When it comes to that, you gotta find oh, you gotta find something to live for. Yeah, and thing about it is that's an all people thing. Everybody is here that is living on Earth really don't know what they're living for unless they have a family or something. They're just here working or or going to school and don't know what and why they are still here and not dead, basically. Even I sometimes feel like my existence not is not important on this in this world, but I already found who I am living for. She just has to find that one person or that one thing that gives her the reason to live for. She probably just found that one thing, but she's just overlooking it. but when it comes to passion, that is that one thing that will give you a reason to live. If she can find that one thing or person to live for, then that will give her that passion. She's gonna have to learn how to, basically.
What I'm living for, and I can't find the reason to get up and do things for myself. And I know obviously there's so many people that have it worse than me in the world. I'm lucky to have a roof over my head and to have a place to stay. I'm lucky for a lot of things, you know? But it doesn't disregard like the very real pain that you go through when you're dealing with mental illness and just feeling like you don't belong at all. Yeah, I just...
At this point, you're probably not avoiding therapy because of stigma. You're probably avoiding therapy because you've become
Yeah, at the end of October, I almost got sent back to the hospital, but I kind of had to lie my ass off in the ER. But guys, don't do that. Like, they could see through your lies. I was just lucky that time, okay? I was just lucky. I was very lucky. Well, I don't know if lucky is the good word for it, but, you know, yeah. I just made it sound like it wasn't as serious as it was, so then I didn't get sent back. Because I was scared to go back to the ward because, like I kept having nightmares since the ward. For the past month and a half, almost 2 months now, I've been getting frequent nightmares. And I had multiple nightmares of me being back there. And it just scared the shit out of me. There's also obvious horror stories that happen there. People get misdiagnosed, go on the wrong medication, and then health complications. And there's also people that are kind of just screaming their head off at the ward and kind of, you know, well, crazy, but not like literally crazy. They just have shit that happens that cause them to like act in a way that quote unquote normal people say, oh, that's just crazy behavior. Obviously I've acted out in ways that is labeled as that, so we're all the same here. I don't really have a moral of the story or theme of this video. Oh, also guys, should I cut my bangs? I've been growing it out since I've been hospitalized, and I'm thinking of wanting like curtain bangs like this because I've never tried that type of haircut because I've always had bangs. Let me know. I want to try something new, but yeah. Someone give me some advice on how to actually pick up the will to do things again, because I don't even like doing makeup anymore. I have no desire for basically anything besides sometimes food, and that's it. Like, nothing brings joy to me. I know that sounds very, very like, oh my god, like, that is so emo, but like genuinely on a real note, like, give me some advice, guys. What are little things that make you guys happy? I would like to know, and I would also like to come up with a list of my own to like kind of make myself find the joy in just little things. It doesn't even have to be big things, you know? I think the reason to keep living is for little things. I think that's the most meaningful one. Like in the past, I would say, oh, something that is worth living for is like music, or like, yeah, music. Back when I was like depressed in middle school, I'd be like, yeah, something that's to live for is BTS. I need to see their new comeback. And guess what? That's what got me here today. And that's what kept me going for a while. So whatever thing that you like, cling onto it, because it will pay off in some way, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping. It's a pretty long video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world, and peace out.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt.
Yeah. When it comes to you or anybody, I think you should just write on paper what you like. Basically, if you like drawing, if you like uh poetry, writing poetry, uh anything that is that makes you feel alive. Anything that makes you feel alive. Uh if you like playing the piano, uh playing the piano, talking to friends, biking, enjoying nature, anything that makes you get up and do something. You should put that on the list. No video games. How about, yeah, reading too? You should put reading too. Or doing your YouTube thing. Basically, going to your job or something. No video games. N- Uh, yeah, nothing that, no put on makeup. But yeah, something that makes you feel alive and passionate. You should put that on the list. Look at your list after you write everything down and do those things. It's already too late for me to do that because I already found what I like, but mine was being a late bloomer. Mine because I was affected by being a late bloomer. But any I was really into drawing, really into writing poetry. Uh I was a very creative person. Even with me creating videos like this, it brings out my creative side. Uh, I used to play the piano all the time when I was homeless. Every time I would see a piano, I would ask the people who own that piano if I can play it because it what made me feel alive, basically. So it made me feel passionate and learning. It made me felt passionate. If I didn't have those pianos when I was homeless, I'll just stay homeless. If I didn't have my girl back then, I would just stay homeless, basically. But that's what you need to do. Uh, like, subscribe, comment. uh, if you like my new setup, then yeah, if I sound better than when I was on Microsoft, yeah, just put that shit down. Put me on that algorithm, bruh. But yeah, I see y'all later. I gotta get ready for work. And Def is out.
plan and I can't rewind it. You gave